Hello and welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. I'm your host, the whiteologist, Mr. Blows Your Mind. And this is Black MINDZ News. And this channel is to report, articulate, transmit, communicate, relay, unveil, decode, spread news, whether it's by news, video, websites, or quotes from publications. As I articulate these information, I accept the creator of the universe, be here, heart, soul, mind, and spirit. Because why? The truth don't need no partner. As a descendant of the greatest people who created this land that you call the United States, we, the biological genealogy, bloodline ties to it, we call ourselves BADOS, Black American descendants of slaves. Others say Black African descendants of slaves. Some say ADOS, which is American descendants of slaves. We, the historical lineage tied foundational blacks of America, we give honor to our ancestors. And you know what my motto is? I'm never going to tell you what I heard. I'm only going to tell you what I know. Today's day, July 29th, we're going to take ourselves to Covenant, Atlanta. I see the situation over here. It's kind of one of them confusing things, depending on how you pay attention to the story. Kind of seems it has the black while feeding a dog, but in between, you know how it is. What they tell you, say, truth has three parts to it. It's your story, their story, and then there's the truth. Let me say that again. There's three parts in the truth. There's one side story, there's the other side story, and then there's the truth. So, stay tuned as I look at this. You look at it, you tell me what you think as well. Stay tuned for this news broadcast. Hey, how's y'all doing? Once again, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and this is Black MINDZ News. And first and foremost, I want to say what's good to the subscribers and new subscribers. What's good, new family and old family as well. Welcome again. Thank you for your participation and thank you for your subscribership. Black MINDZ News appreciates each and every one of you personally. Passerbys, if you still happen to pass by, this is one of the most hated shows in the black corners in the internet. First of all, I also want to say to you, do you not know that we just had an anniversary? July the 26th, 2019, made 7 years that Black MINDZ News has been in business. But you couldn't tell based on the numbers, could you? That's why I keep counting the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. You just don't know the history and what have I gone through to be to where I am today. But anyway, passerby says you pass by. Again, this go down our libraries. Always got a grand opening. And if you should see something in there that should maybe offend you a little bit, that rub you in the wrong way, remember that the motto of the show is, the truth don't need no partner. So let's get into this, right? So I seen this story here. Again, you know, as Black MINDZ News, what we do is we try to cover black events and black stories, and we cover everything when it's, you know, could be and has some relevance to our existence. So I seen this here, and it's like, man, black while feeding a dog. You know, you got the hashtags black while. It's always something that somehow we end up getting confronted by police officers, right? And get ourselves in some kind of situation that probably was not warranted, but it somehow happened. So I seen this story here, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm just not getting it. So I said, well, let me present it to the audience, and maybe you might figure it out, because I did figure it out after a while. And I was like, but again, catch 22 or catch 44, right? Damn you do, damn you don't. It was one of them situations where it's, yeah, I'll talk about that afterwards. But let me show you this, and let's be right back. Check this out and be right back.
A Covington man heard the barks of some abandoned dogs across the street, and like many of us would, he decided to feed them.
But that simple good deed landed him in jail, charged with multiple counts of felony animal cruelty. What? Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis is here now to explain how this could happen. Randy?
Yeah, ever since now you'd think a Good Samaritan like that would be celebrated instead of jailed. Yet that's what happened to this married father of four, a truck driver who could not believe where this all wound up.
How in the world this happened? Someone that's trying to do a good deed and they're being punished for it.
For the last 2 weeks, Ashley Reed has been a single mom, caring for her family while husband Quincy sits in the Newton County Jail, calling every chance he gets.
I don't regret defeating the dogs because they didn't ask to be starved.
No, they rely on us, don't they?
Right.
It started in May when a neighbor across the street was arrested on drug charges. Days later, Quincy says he heard dogs barking in the backyard. So he grabbed a big bucket of his own dog food and fed them a few times, made sure they had water. That neighbor, Robbie Smith, later called from jail to tell Quincy he didn't need help because someone was coming to get the dogs, but no one did. Weeks later, another neighbor eventually called animal control.
One of my favorite dogs was a little white pit bull. It was like skin and bones, and they touched it, and the tail started wagging, and the thing like looking up at him like, gosh, I was just tore my heart out.
When authorities made their way back here, they found 4 dogs, 2 of them dead, 2 others malnourished. They would make 2 arrests, the woman who lives in this house and that neighbor across the street who thought he was just doing a good deed.
I really was scared because I was like, what did I do? Beat the dogs and got locked up?
The homeowner, Unica Washington, faces the same charges. According to the incident report, she told detectives that she was afraid of her boyfriend's dogs, and Quincy had been feeding them.
Do you think he has any responsibility for what happened to the dogs?
No, I don't think neither one of us do.
Ashley quickly got the dog's owner to write this letter, explaining to authorities that her husband did not have any responsibility for the care of his dogs. But because Quincy was already on probation from an old drug conviction, he'd have to sit in jail until his court date, August 7th. That's a month behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. His 7-year-old daughter wrote her dad this letter and left it on his favorite chair in the den.
And I got 2 girls at home that sitting and said, when daddy coming home? And I'm like, any day. That's what we hoping. And it's not working. I just don't want him to sit there for something he didn't do.
He won't anymore. After the Fox 5 I team explained the situation, the Newton County DA's office dismissed all charges. Probation released their hold as well. Quincy Reed would go home to his family and his own dogs, but with a sobering view of helping others.
Think twice before you do something. Even though to help somebody out is good, but sometimes it can turn out bad.
Well, according to the affidavit for Reed's arrest warrant, he was charged because he stopped feeding the dogs and did not notify the owner. But as we reported, the owner wrote a letter saying he didn't have any responsibility of the dogs. It was the owner's responsibility, the guy who was already in jail, but it didn't seem to make any difference to the authorities until we got involved.
Yeah, and the authorities didn't seem to feel a sense of urgency in getting this fixed.
Yeah, and give credit to the Newton County DA's office because they said they didn't know anything really about this case. It hadn't even gotten to them yet. But yeah, August 7th was when they were going to finally deal with this, and that would have been a whole month for this poor guy sitting in the Newton County Jail for something he did not do. So give credit to the DA's office for getting involved and dismissing the charges.
Credit goes to you,
And to
for,
you
getting
for fixing
involved.
it.
Yeah.
It was good to see him get out.
It's nice to see his kids so happy, and
Absolutely.
the wife too.
That was very heartwarming.
Great stuff. Thanks, Randy.
All right.
All right. So, let's see, in Covington, Atlanta, where a brother named Quincy Reed had got 2 counts of felony animal cruelty. What in the world is that kind of charge, right? Have you ever heard such heinous charge for a man doing a good deed, right? And you see that it was a neighbor named Robbie Smith who lived across the street from Mr. Quincy Reed, and Robbie Smith had got arrested for some drug charges, according to what this video talks about, right? And so what you see is that Mr. Reed was doing the neighborly deed. He heard dogs barking. He got dogs of his own. I said, and I'm going ahead and give me some puppy chow. Scooping it, take it up over there. Let me feed these dogs. I done seen my man get hauled off to jail, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do the, you know, like State Farm, good neighbors there. That was used to be the old way they said it, right? And so what you end up seeing is that somehow, again, I was kind of confused. I was like, wait a minute. Did you hear in the story like I heard where it said that Robbie Smith, the neighbor who got locked up, taken into jail, called the house of Quincy Reed? Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that, right? And he said that, hey, my man, no need to feed them dogs, all right? Don't feed them because I got somebody coming over to get them. Don't take no care for them, all right? Okay, right? So that he got a call directly from my man next door. Now, again, I'm like, I got neighbors. I don't know if my neighbor, I don't know, I ain't gonna say, I'm gonna tell you what I ain't gonna tell you what I heard, I'm gonna tell you what I know. My neighbor ain't got my phone number. You understand? So I don't know how you gonna call me, and I'm pretty sure you call from jail is collect, right? Unless somebody you call somebody else collect, and then they call over, right? So it could have been that too, right? Maybe Robbie called somebody, and then they three-way called and called. You understand? Okay, so maybe that could have been, but then there's a mystery in here, right? Think about it. It's got to be a mystery. So you see that, okay, I guess there was some agreement made by the, you know, whether he was feeding and he stopped feeding. And so do you see, oh, Mr. Bob, the white guy, right? What was his name? Bob Brown, the white guy, right? Weeks later, he seen a favorite dog that he liked, right? It was a favorite little white pit bull he seen. He was all skin and bones, and he said, oh, it just took my heart. And what did old Mr. Bob Brown do? Him the one that called. That's why I say him. Him calls animal control, right? So when animal control gets there, they find 2 dead, 2 malnutritioned, right? So you know how when they come out there and they see them dogs like that, you know what I'm saying? Dogs actually in the hierarchy of human beings, they actually, well, we're going to say we got Kundalini Negroes, working class Negroes, and just us niggas. The dog got precedence over niggas. You know what I'm saying? They'll go out. Matter of fact, if you kick a damn police dog, your ass will get locked up with time. If you don't feed the dog getting malnutrition, you'll get time. But you could choke niggas out, shoot niggas, and somehow get exonerated. So I got to say, dogs that are preceding over most niggas, right? So what happens is that, so now that they done got involved in it, so now somebody has to be charged. Well, you done heard what the report said. They went and arrested 2 people. Now there was 2 people, right? One being Quincy Reed, right? Now, again, how do they know to get Quincy is the question, right? How do they know to go there? If he's a neighbor, how did they know to go to get Quincy at his house? Well, it's because why? You seen in the broadcast there, you see Unica Washington, right? Oh, remember Unica, the sister that was there, they was doing, and the little kid was down there doing his doing. She didn't want to turn to show herself to the camera, right? I think Unica tricked, right? I think Unica might have tricked on this one, because when they came and got locked up, you know what she said? I wonder why. I scared of the dog. You know who was feeding? Not Robbie, Quincy from across the street. I seen him through the camera. I didn't really see him personally. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no camera, but I could see him through the camera. Huh? See? Good deed you doing for somebody, right? But somehow reason, this person ain't trying to get involved. They trying to put it on somebody else, right? But did you hear the reason what they was, okay, let me go on a little bit, okay. So did you hear what they said they was charging Quincy for anyway? Now, again, somehow Unica, they gave that little segue, but then anything after that, they just kind of got away, because, again, who ended up going to get the letter from Robbie in the jail cell was Ashley, the wife of Quincy, right? She went in there. And let me show you how this probably was. This is how it went down, right? I'm going to get it to you, right? So what we see is that Quincy is being charged with stop feeding the dogs and didn't tell the owner. Let me tell you that again. Quincy Reed was charged with stop feeding the dogs and didn't tell the owners. Now, wait a minute. Shouldn't they have figured out that Robbie Smith was already in lockup? That this his dog? Ain't somewhere in the conversation that Quincy Reed is telling, well, this ain't my dog, this is Skippy dog, right? Ain't nobody trying to hear nothing. It's because what somebody else done said, then the full thing that fell on him, and then just by accident, how most times what most of us is, they got some kind of warrant, some kind of something that dragged in the past, right? Because we heard that, right? So he ended up, because he had probation for old drug conviction, right? Now, okay. Damn, he had an old drug conviction. My man Robbie went in there for drugs, right? You feeding his dogs, right? And it seems innocent, right? All right, let me show you something, a little investigative work that I looked at here, right? So let me show it to you. Let me show you something. Again, I do this not to make light of fun, but this is just saying I seen the story and I was kind of a little puzzled about it, right? So I'm gonna show the sister and brother there, right? They're, nice looking couple there. That's Quincy Reed and that's Ashley Reed, right? Right? That's them right there, right? You seen their family and everything, right? My man trying to do everything right? You know how sometimes when we growing up, we do things that sometimes, again, when you're young and then you start to get mature, you develop. Okay, that's how it goes, right? So, okay, that's what we try to do, right? All right, so that's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with it. We ain't tripping on that, right? We ain't gonna trip on that. So, but, so we see that, again, as you've seen in the picture there, the wife, see that letter that you see, that's what Robbie Smith, who was in jail, that was the brother who got locked up. Now, these his dog, right? That's his property over there, right? That's his stuff over there. And that's the letter that ended up, taking all responsibilities off of Quincy and making it more about the fact that, these all responsibilities should fall on me. But did you notice this part here when they showed it? You probably wouldn't have seen it because they kind of did it kind of fast, right? But if you can read on your screen there the lines and stuff that's written in there, when they got Unica Washington said a lot of stuff when she got in there in that cell, right? Unica was in there saying, Quincy Reed is the cousin of Robbie Smith, right? Yeah, that's his cousin, right? Robbie, who got locked up, because remember, he called the crib. He called the crib from jail. Remember I said, you got neighbors. Do your neighbors got your phone number? Your neighbors ain't got your phone number. So, again, I'm calling her and you call. So again, how we connecting to you to tell you don't come over to my house and feed the dog. So they related, right? They all related there, right? And so, based on the fact that probably what happened with Robbie, these po was looking at the fact, well, shit, we getting you for drugs. They done looked at the background of Quincy Reed. Remember what they said, right? Wrong screen there. Hold on. Remember they said that Quincy Reed was sitting in jail for a whole month because, again, not so much, again, after the letter been to exonerate him for releasing him for any negligence that you try to put on him. Well, he had an old drug conviction. So these police were trying to actually, what they were doing? They were trying to hold him to try to tie him in and had him in some cahoots or coercion, right? With this drugs or what they were trying to hold my other brother on, right? So it's like, but the way that this story is being spent, it was more about feeding the dogs. That was what they was using, tried to get it, but because of, Ashley and them going out to get to the news and getting this story brought out, so what ended up happening, they dropped everything. They even dropped the release of the probation and everything, right? But they was trying to be slick with it, right? Use the dogs again. See that old Bob Hart fell out for the pit bull because he probably wanted the pit bull, right? You know what I'm saying? But now the pit bull look all, need to be hers. He the one called animal control. Right? And based on Bob doing what he's doing, created this whole scenario. Now again, Quincy wouldn't have got involved in that situation if what? Probably if Janika wouldn't have had said what she said. She tried to say, well, I was scared, dog. I didn't feed it. The only person was feeding the dog was this one. But I still don't understand how you going to charge this man 2 counts of felony for feeding the dog or stop feeding the dog and not telling the owner. What kind of law is that? If I'm feeding your dog and I don't own the dog, ain't the dog yours? That's your responsibility. Oh, if I tell you I'm going to stop feeding it, then I'm liable for that? You know what I'm saying? These must come up with all kinds of stuff. But again, this is what it is. Again, I just wanted to bring this little story to you because, again, I thought it was kind of, had some unique twists and flips in it. And I was like, wait a minute. What is this all about? Because it don't make sense, right? But that's the way it ended up being. You see that the brother came out, family, children, loving his father, running in. Man said, hey, you know, even he playing it off too. He constantly, yeah, you know, helping people, right? But it ain't about his cuz though. You see what happened. Somebody else tricked on him, right? And just saying that you didn't go out there and feed the dog. See, all she had to say, I was scared of the dog, so I didn't go out there and feed the dog. But them ain't your dogs no way. So, I seen him out there, he feeding the dogs. You understand? See, and made him go through a whole ordeal, family suffering. He can't go to work. Wife don't know what they finna do. You understand? So you know how that relationship probably gonna go between him and her, or the wife and them, right? And we ain't gonna be fucking with y'all no more. But anyway, this is Black Minds News. Just want to bring something kind of one of these kind of a black scenario situations we all sometimes have had our acquaintances to. You know, be in certain situations like this, so we can relate to that. Again, we don't hate each other. It is what it is. You know, when white men come with that badge and gun, you know what I'm saying? People getting scared. They say all kinds of stuff. So again, you know, no harm, no foul. Everything seemed to be working out except for Robbie's situation, right? Robbie's still locked up in there, and I guess everything gonna fall on him. Now he's gonna throw the dogs all up on him too, right? So, you know, it is what it is. And this is Black Minds News again. Stay black, strong, and peace and all that good stuff. To the next show, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Be careful how you know what I'm saying, you're out here and you fraternizing people. Because, again, you know, they got their own reason. And I'm not going to go out the way we used to go out, y'all. I got to go out another way because I'm going to use the other ones for live. So we're going to go out like this. Again, this is Black Minds News, and I'm your host, the Whiteologist. To the next show, y'all, stay love, peace, and all that good stuff. Peace, love, and hair grease.